It's so hot. We actually went up by Lake Arrowhead. I have to share a little nature story with you, but we went up there for the weekend and was like wanting to get away and be in nature. And it's not spring there yet. So, it was really cold, which I was fine with. I don't mind cold weather, but there weren't any, like last time I was there, I went to an arboretum and there was dogwood trees everywhere and they were gorgeous and there were flowers everywhere. We went back to the arboretum and it looked like total destruction. And I thought, what happened? And there was a lady working in the booth at the end of the walk. I said, what happened last time I was here? I mean, granted, it was mid-May, not beginning of April. And it was so beautiful. And she said in January and February, they had basically these storms that were like tornadoes, but with snow. And it just ripped all the trees to shreds. The branches, the trees tipped over everywhere. And now, because they can't drive bulldozers in to take these trees out, they have to get a chipper and chip it all and spread out the little chips and then wheelbarrow the chips out. It's a whole thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, you never know when you see something, if it's the first and only time you're ever going to see it, because it may never look like that ever again. Just total disaster. Which brings me to my quote today, because it's about living in the present moment. And here's the lesson lately. Whew, not easy. I don't actually know who authored this, so I will try to look it up and let you know. But it's a beautiful passage. Living in the present moment is the only way to tame the mind. For the mind throws us into turmoil, thinking of the past and worrying about the future. By noticing our breath, the inner sensations of the body, the light around us, the ground beneath us, we begin to find ourselves in the here and now. The question, what if, ceases to plague our days and acceptance begins to flower. So you can notice your breath. Notice the light in your room, whether it's a lamp or some sunlight coming in. And you can notice the ground beneath you, your floor, your mat. We'll take a few more deep breaths here. You might even allow a gentle sigh for your exhale. And if your mind has wandered off, again, notice the breath. Notice the light. Notice the support beneath you. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Grateful for the practice and for moving our bodies, which helps us keep our minds moving, and for breathing our bodies, helps keep us in the present moment, paying attention to the breath. Let's send some love out from our hearts outward. And when you release, just let your arms go out into a T. And bend your knees. And let's start with wipers and neck. So knees are bent, feet are wider than the hips. And you flow side to side. Legs go one way and your head can turn the opposite way. Keep it really slow. And then at some point, it may be that you go a little faster, but just notice and make sure that you're not rushing. And you may decide to pause on one side, take a couple full breaths, or you can continue side to side. Second side, if you're holding, mosey on over to the second side. And bring yourself back to center. You can stretch your legs out, reach your arms, maybe a little higher than the T shape. Taking a few deep breaths here, starfish. And bringing your arms back down, and let's bend the knees. Keep your feet about hip distance apart. We haven't done this in a while, but we're going to do a little chugging. So your arms can rest in Shavasana shape, knees are bent, feet are on the ground, and you just push into your feet so that your body begins to do this little chugging motion. I'm not moving a ton, but it's just I don't know, it feels like a low back, pelvis, kind of backside massage. Just a little bit of chugging. Don't forget to notice your breath as we're in this kind of weird movement. And then you can come to stillness. And we'll keep knees bent, feet planted. And we'll go ahead and lift into a little bridge and lower down. And we'll add the arms in a moment. For now, we're just lifting and lowering any amount. Very strong through your heels. And the next time you come up, any amount is fine. Let one side of your pelvis lower a little bit. So one hip lowers and then back to neutral, and then the other hip. It's not aggressive. It's a very gentle, one hip lowers and then the other. You're not going all the way down, just a little shifting of the pelvis. We'll do it one more time. Lower on the right and then lower on the left. And then come back down, pause in neutral. And we'll add the arms now if you'd like. Inhaling, lift the pelvis, let your arms float up and over. And exhale, lower down. You link the movement to your breath. You can even switch if you don't want to inhale up and exhale down, you can switch it. Allow for a full breath. Remember, you can pause and rest whenever you'd like, or we'll do a few more. They can be really small bridges, or you can lift the pelvis as high as you'd like. And we'll take one more, and then you'll decide if you'd like to rest, or you might like to come up into a bridge and hold. Pushing through the heels, squeezing the buttocks. Your arms can be reaching, or you can bring them back down by your sides, taking 2 more breaths here. And we slowly come back down and hug your knees in toward your chest. An upside down child's pose for stillness, or maybe gentle rocking side to side. And bring your feet back down. Feet are hip width apart. Arms can rest by your sides, and we revisit chugging. So you can do it the same way, feet down, pushing into the feet and helping the body move up and down, up and down. This time, if you want, you can just keep the heels down and just push through the heels. So my toes are kind of floating just through the heels. And sometimes that will help you activate the back of the legs and the buttocks. Chug asana. We have a couple more breaths. And then we'll release. And let's spread out into starfish, reaching through your arms and your legs. Taking a few full breaths right here. One more whole body breath. Bring your arms down by your sides and bend your knees. Take the legs wide and turn the feet out. We're going to do a few more bridges now with the wide legs. And we can start just with the pelvis, lifting and lowering any amount, not rushing. Getting a different feel here now that the legs are wider and the feet are turned out. It's some different muscle activation, different awareness. Well, now you may want to add your arms, but consider having the arms wider as well. So they might not be as close together, the distance of your shoulders, they might actually be reaching out. So the arms, when they go up, look kind of like a Y shape, just a little wider than the usual way, or not. Pressing down a lot through the heels. And we'll take 2 more bridges like this. Strong through the buttocks and legs. After this next one, you'll decide resting or coming up and holding. You can have your arms by your sides or up and over. Push through the heels, squeeze the buttocks, breathe. Strong legs and butt for walking through the airports. And then we come down and locate your cushion. Maybe you'll grab it with your legs. We're coming into supported bridge. So the pelvis will lift. And you can have your legs neutral, or you could keep them in the wide shape. Pelvis resting on your cushion or blanket. And you may like to take out your pillow. Sometimes that just gives you a little more inversion if that's what you're looking for today. That can be nice. So legs neutral or legs wide, or the last choice, feet wide, knees together, in which case you could also add your other cushion. Let me grab mine. You can Add the other cushion between the legs, and that can be really nice, very relaxing. Let the hip crease soften. Let your arms rest in Shavasana or in the T shape. And close your eyes, check inward. Feel the inhales and the exhales. And you have the support beneath you. Notice if there's any place that could soften a little bit, the jaw, shoulders, the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet, letting the body settle and rest here. Notice if you wandered off, and if so, gently come back, noticing each inhale and each exhale. If you have the pillow between the legs, you'll want to take that out. And like we did on the ground, we'll hug the knees in, but now the pelvis is elevated. So you can take the knees a little wider again, make it like child's pose, upside down. Probably don't want to rock because you might rock right off the cushion. But you can be here, or if you'd like, you could come into a very casual happy baby. So I'm not even trying to hold my feet. I'm just kind of bending the legs and letting the feet go up toward the sky. And you might take a few breaths there and then come back into the other part. And then we'll go ahead and release the legs, and we'll stay on the cushion for our first thread the needle, taking the left leg on top of the right, and we'll keep the right foot down. We'll have an opportunity in a moment to do the next part if you want. Left leg on top, right foot still connected to the mat, and then we can circle the left ankle. Let your arms rest wherever they're comfy. And switch direction with your ankle, with your foot. And let your foot rest. Take a big full inhale. Open your mouth, exhale. And we'll switch sides, right leg on top of the left. And we'll keep the left foot down, anchored into the ground. And then the right foot. Make some circles in each direction. Letting the foot rest. Taking a couple more breaths here on this side. Big inhale and open mouth, exhale. And we'll go back to side one, left leg on top. And this time decide if you want to keep the right foot down, or you can draw the legs in. You can hold the leg, or you can let the arms rest. And another full breath in and open mouth, exhale. Releasing this side and taking the right leg on top. Taking the low variation again, which is so good. Or maybe you want to draw the legs in, which is so good. You can hold the left leg or not. What makes it so good is that it feels right in your body today for this practice. Could be completely different on Thursday. Big breath in, fill up. Open mouth, exhale. And release. Yogi's choice. We're taking starfish shape. You can remove the cushion and come down to the ground for that, or you can stay with your pelvis on the cushion. Big starfish shape, long legs, long arms, full breath. And the legs and the arms can be as wide as you like. They might even be off the mat, but it doesn't matter, right? What matters is, how does it feel? How is your breath? And then we'll all take the cushion out if it's there still, bending the knees, lifting. Have the cushion or cushions on one side for a gentle twist. So you can hug your knees in and then drop the knees to one side, or start with your feet on the ground and you can drop the knees to one side. That's a little gentler, and sometimes that feels better on my low back, but support where you need it. Adding as many props as you'd like. And just to be different today, if you'd like, instead of arms in a T, maybe you take your arms up and over. Be a strange arm situation in your twist, and you may decide, no, thank you. And you could take them into a T. You can still turn your head the opposite way of your knees. And at the bottom of your next exhale, slowly come back to center. Release the arms, pause in the center, just feel your feet on the ground. I forgot to add my pillow back in. And you can switch your prop to the other side. And you may take the same exact twist, or you might change it up a little bit. So dropping the knees to the side, you can hug them in first or not. And your arms can be in a T, in a Y, or up and over. And then you can look the opposite way of your knees. And at the bottom of your next exhale, slowly we come back to neutral. You can take your cushions off to the side and keep your knees bent, or you can straighten your legs out. But we will just let the arms rise up. Place your palms toward the sky. And we'll just do a few of our push-up moves, pushing something up and then drawing the arms down close to the rib cage, and then pushing back up and drawing the arms down. Just a few of these. And the next time your arms are up, just let your wrists circle. Soft through your hands and fingers, switching direction. And then a very gentle fist, and we'll continue circling the wrists with a gentle fist, not a clenched hand. And switch direction. And release. Let the arms come down. So there's my doggies. As we get ready to transition into Shavasana, I want to give an option. If you would like to take Supta Baddha Konasana first, you can, and you might decide to stay there, but you can take the cushions close to the hips and the thighs, soles of the feet together. You can start in this shape. You might even like a cactus arm. That is a little bit louder and more energizing. So if you're like, I really want to chillax in Shavasana, then you might like the arms a little bit lower, maybe even palms turned down. You again can decide to stay in this shape if it feels restful. If not, in a few moments, I'll give you an opportunity to move into traditional Shavasana shape. And your only task here now is to pay attention to your breath over and over and over. Noticing if you feel comfortable right where you are, or you can slide your legs out into Shavasana, adding support under the thighs wherever you need. Surrendering to the rest. And bring your awareness back in. Feel the support beneath you. Even with your eyes closed, you can notice the light around you in the room. And take a few deep breaths. Awareness on your toes. Begin to move the toes. And awareness on your fingers. Begin to move your fingers. And perhaps one more time, starfish shape, reaching through your arms, through your legs, taking a whole body stretch, front, sides, and back. And then your knees bend and you roll to your side, fetal pose. Pausing there, setting an intention perhaps for your evening. Maybe just noticing how you feel after your practice. And we'll come up to sit. Bring your hands to heart center. Grateful for this present moment. And we take a breath. And this present moment. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. And this present moment. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Take great care. Namaste.